everybody? It's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are backing up another video, and guys, I just got done watching Peacemaker episode 7 called Stop Dragging My Heart Around, and guys, this episode I was super excited for because this was the episode we were finally going to see Peacemaker's father, the White Dragon, try to kill Chris, aka Peacemaker, and I loved the way this episode started. Like, I am getting more of an understanding of what really happened to Peacemaker's brother. That opening sequence where we see Chris and in his older brother, and they're talking and stuff about rock and roll and everything, and they're just having a nice moment between one another, and you can really tell how much they love each other. And then getting the moment where they get called out to fight one another, and finding out that his father is making profit off of them, reminded me so much of how people do dogfighting, and I find that super disgusting that people do that. And that was just a sad moment to see that go down, and made me even hate. It made me hate even more of Peacemaker's father. It made me hate him even more. The fact that he makes them fight to make profit. That's just disgusting to me, and it fueled the fire of me hoping, okay, I know what's about to happen. I know they're about to fight, and I really want Peacemaker to kill his father. This dude's a piece of shit, and I was like, and that just made me sad. He's having that, reliving that moment in his head in the bathroom, and he's crying, and what really annoyed me is that his father blamed him all this time for the death of his older son, but yet he was the cause of that happening. It was not Chris's fault that went down. It was his father's fault, and he could never admit that because his father's a piece of shit. So the fact of it is just that made me super sad. That's why this character is the way he is because of the trauma he's went through of one being accused of being accused of, oh, you killed your brother, but when that's not the case. Of the father killed his son and Chris's brother. That went down because of Peacemaker's father, and and all the chaos going around of all of the department being under control by butterflies, and sending out the news broadcast of, oh, we have to stop Peacemaker, he's behind all this, and that. And he just right now doesn't really know who to trust besides Vigilante, because he knows Adebayo put that diary in his apartment. And they even have that moment where Vigilante's like, are you okay? He's like, we have to get the hell out of here. I don't know what we're caught up in. And John's still there, so they're at their headquarters, and Vigilante and Peacemaker is like, you know what? Even though all this shit's going on, we should go still kill that cow. I still want to do that. Let's go kill the cow, and I'm not going to let any of this faze me. Let's just go do that. And it was a nice moment where, John's like, he's debating on if he even wants to go or not, which I thought was funny. He's like, Chris is like, are you coming? And then Vigilante's just out, and then Eagly, he's like, come on, Eagly, and Eagly's wobbling out, which is adorable. And John's like, F it, I guess I'm gonna have to go, because at this point, Hardcore and Adebayo is packing up from what we saw from last episode. She's getting ready to dip and go back to Gotham, with her girlfriend. So at this point, we only really know Hardcore and Mern are back at their hotel, and they're trying to get everything together, trying to connect with Peacemaker to, I guess, rally all together to go kill that cow. But that tends to, I guess, John really wasn't able to tell them what's going on because he's going along with what Peacemaker and Vigilante are doing, and he doesn't really know what they're doing, and he's just like, oh, I have to go with them, you know what I mean? I gotta be the adult in this situation. So that moment where they're going to go kill the cow, and we see, Peacemaker's father, the White Dragon, in his costume. He's flying around, which again was pretty damn good CGI for a show. Even though it was on HBO Max, it was pretty damn good. I was very impressed with the flight of that White Dragon. Had the CGI that was pretty cool. And to see him actually in action was really, it was a cool moment. But I was like, dude, you really think you're going to kill your son? He's going to kick the shit out of you, bro, for what he's went through. And he's at the tipping point of he's going to kill you now. So the moment where, he decks the truck and they all flip over. The truck flips over. Mind you, I'm scared at this point, not knowing what's going to happen, because even though right now, Peacemaker has no clue his father is coming after him. He has no clue, that, again, Antibio kind of, gave Vigilante the idea of, Chris won't be happy until his father's dead, and all that moment in jail and everything. He doesn't know, like, that all went down. So Chris was like, Dad, what are you doing here? He's like, what I should have done a long time ago, and tries blasting them in the thing. I love how Vigilante, starts shooting at White Dragon. That was a cool moment. I'm like, it's go time between you and Vigilante, because he's gonna beat your ass now, because he wanted to do that in prison, but now he gets to do it now. So that was a cool moment when he got out. That was just shooting, White Dragon and all that stuff, and then they have that cool moment outside. And the line I love the most that Vigilante says is Vigilante literally says, "Oh, there's no wrong time to rock and roll," and throws the grenade. But I thought Vigilante was dead. I was like, is he dead? Because he was nowhere to be found, and that was hella close when he threw that grenade. I mean, that grenades hit, like, they take up a lot of explosion room. Like, they take a lot of, surrounding with them. And I was like, oh my god, is Vigilante dead? And we do see Vigilante, while Chris and John run off with Eagly, we do see Vigilante at one point, and he ends up taking one of the racist members of, the White Dragons group, and he ends up taking one of their cars. And I thought that was funny, because the one dude's like, really? You left your keys in the car? I was like, you're beat. You deserve that. That's funny. And he just drives off. Mind you, Vigilante's suit is destroyed. He looked badly damaged. I was like, oh my god. But luckily enough, he was okay to the point where, but when I saw him, pass out at the wheel, I thought he was dead. I was like, oh my god, they did not just kill a Vigilante, because I love that character. I find him funny, and he's just a breath of fresh air to the DC universe. I just love that character. And I hope we get a season 2, because I just want to see more with that character. Hell, a spin-off series would be awesome with him too. Wouldn't that be cool if that was the spin-off series that James Gunn's been working on? That would be sick. I would watch the shit out of that. But that moment again where they're running in the woods and they're trying to figure out how the hell that his father is tracking them, and he ends up finding out, oh shit, it's in the helmet, and it's in all the helmets actually. But I love when Chris gets the idea to tie the helmet to a raccoon. That was a funny ass scene, and he's like, you don't mess with raccoons, and he's like, I'm just shocked that you did that to a wild raccoon. Which was just very funny to me. And of course it would be a raccoon. Shout out to you. Of course James Gunn would figure out a way to do something with a raccoon, because Rocket Raccoon. I feel like that's me thinking on it's outside the box thinking on that, but I feel like it's not that deep. I feel like you're in the woods, of course you tie to a raccoon, but I feel like but in my heart I'm thinking it's because a Rocket Raccoon is a little funny little thing that you did there. But honestly, though, I loved that. I thought it was funny, especially when they ended up finding out it was the raccoon, because I love when they're like, damn, he's moving, but it was the raccoon. I just thought that was funny, and when they find it, they're like, oh, and it was funny. It's like, find him, and that moment when they actually, like, are driving off. Well, actually, they end up finding out, like, they find Vigilante, and they're like, they tell him to move over, and they're about to drive off, and they're like, oh, like how'd your dad find us? And he's like, he tracked us through the helmets. And then that's when Vigilante looks over and says, and he's like, oh crap, you have more of these helmets in the car. And that's when I thought for sure John was gonna die, and I thought Vigilante was gonna die at that moment, because Vigilante goes to take a pee right when Chris is trying to throw the helmet somewhere else so they can get out of there without his father tracking them. And John has to call back Eagly, and I thought Eagly was going to get shot out of the sky. I thought at that moment they were all going to die, because I thought it would have been too late, that his father would have made sure none of them escaped. And I was very scared in that moment that they were splitting up, and that John was standing there by the car by himself with no weapons, no nothing at the moment. I was just super scared, and he's calling back to Eagly, but even Eagly knows that something is like about to happen right now, and ends up like saving Chris, because mind you, Chris has the White Dragon's entire army chasing after him, which was very funny to see, like, him go like this, running back to the car, and John like crawling out to the other side, going into the woods, trying to go to Adrian. And I thought that was a funny moment. He's like, dude, why are your pants all the way down? He's like, I hate when it touches my butt. I was like, oh my god. Adrian's lines, Vigilante's lines are so Deadpool-like. I think that's why I like him so much, is because he reminds me so much of Deadpool. And I love it. I love it. It's pure genius. I just love this character. And it's just amazing. And that one moment where, like, you know, Peacemaker's kicking the shit out of them, but they're giving their dues. White Dragon's army, like, beating the crap out of the Peacemaker. But I love when Eagly gets involved and he ends up pecking out their eyes and beating the shit out of them. But right when Eagly flew over to White Dragon, I knew it was over for Eagly. I was like, oh god, please tell me. But when, like, it's not, like, Eagly, don't do this. And then he gets smacked and literally is, like, on his back, claws up. I thought he was dead. And mind you, Peacemaker's still on the ground, and he ends up running towards his father, you know, starts, you know, fighting him and stuff. And he's like, oh, I'll kill you or whatever. He's like, really? Ends up shooting Peacemaker over to the other side. And ends up pretty much, like, stepping on him, saying, I should have killed you a long time ago. You know, you're the reason that your brother is dead, this, and that. And then next thing you know, Vigilante comes out the cuts, stabs White Dragon in the one of the soft spots of the armor, because remember, that's a callback to one of the previous episodes when Adrian ends up going into ends up following Peacemaker inside, ends up seeing, you know, the White Dragon's lair, and says, oh, you know, there's a flaws in your dad's suit because, you know, there's soft spots in it. And he used a knife and hit one of those soft spots to stop White Dragon's beams from him using those beams, which I really did enjoy. And then Peacemaker goes to town on his dad, like goes to town on him, and he says, you know, you're the reason my brother is dead. You're the reason I'm messed up and I'm an ass. You're the reason. And he's like, oh, you're not gonna kill me. You're not gonna do this. I own you. And then I love when Peacemaker went, boop. You're dead. You're gone. Bye bye. I was like, good. I was like, you're a piece of shit. I was like, good. I'm happy, bro. That man, nah, he needed to go, and I'm happy like he did it. But it was sad though, because I mean, he wanted to love his father. He wanted to be loved, and that was a sad moment, seeing him cry. And, you know, Chris, just seeing him on the ground crying, and you know, Vigilante is like, dude, this is the wrong time for you to work on your facial exercises. But I understand though, because how good looking you are, that's why you have to do it. Or if I was as good looking as you, I'd do it too. And then John's like, no, you idiot, he's crying, he's sad right now. And he's like, you know, and it was just funny. He's like, oh, he's like, lightly comforting. And he's like, John's like, no, dude, that's creepy. That's weird. Get away. That was just funny to me. And just, that was a really meaningful moment. Like, I really felt for Chris's character, but like, it needed to be done. He knew it needed to be done, and it happened. But the other and mind you, I thought Eagly was still dead. Like, Eagly is still laying over there. I was like, what's going to happen to Eagly? But then, of course, you know, we see on the other end of things, we see Mern, and Hardcore, and, you know, Inabayo is about to leave. Hardcore is walking, ends up finding out that the police are there, and they know where their location is, because remember, that one dude that gets taken over, Ghost, he knew where they all were located. He was in on what they were doing, and that's how he knew their location, and that's how they knew that they were all compromised and they had to get out of there. But Mern was trapped, and Mern, you know, tapes up the walkie-talkie, or he does something to it. Like, he puts a zip tie on it and says, got Inabayo, Hardcore, you guys need to leave. It's too late. You know what I mean? You need to finish the job. And that moment where, like, Mern dies, that was very sad. And the fact that he knew about Inabayo being related, but he knew that was Waller's daughter, like, and he did the background check. He wasn't shocked by that, and he knew that she planted the diary in Peacemaker's trailer. That really shocked me, that he knew about that, all that. Like, that was a shock to me. But I guess it doesn't make sense, because I mean, he knew about so many other things, that of course a butterfly could, like, do that background check, and it was that thorough, it did make sense. But that moment where, like, the butterfly of, you know, Mern, like, when he was a butterfly, like, his essence flies out, and the one officer grabs Myrn and squeezes him. That was a very sad moment. Ends up just throwing him on the ground. And when they leave, Hardcore and anybody will run in there and just see Myrn there. And Hardcore is like, just lost for words. She doesn't know what to say. She's hurt. She's sad. Because that's her team. That's her family. That's someone. These are people she trusts. She's learned to trust. She's learned to let in. She made that 11th Street kids, group chat. Like she's warming up to them, considering them family, and she just lost someone she really trusted, someone she considered a family member. And I really felt for Hardcore in that moment. I feel like we're really seeing it through Hardcore, the trust, and through Peacemaker, the people that don't trust the most are learning how to trust, are learning that they do have a family, learning that they do have a team. And it was just a sad moment when she picks up, Myrn as a butterfly, and Myrn is just, reaching out and touching Hardcore's hand and then dies. It's the subtle things, those little moments that you really are seeing the layers, are really seeing these characters grow and are seeing the character development. But you really can tell when we get to the moment where they all link up. And at this point, Annabelle is getting ready to leave, but she's at the veterinarian's office because, Eagly is getting, patched up, but we're not quite sure if he's going to live. And Vigilante is getting ready to kill, the one nurse and the two other, nurses, but he doesn't want to call them nurses and stuff because he's like, they're dudes or whatever. Like, I don't know if I could call, how could you live with be called a nurse or something? It was some stupid shit. I was like, what the hell? It's so James Gunn's, humor. It's just it's so out there and dumb, but it works for this show, and that's why it works. So that moment was just funny to me. And then Hardcore's or John's like, do we really have to kill them? And Hardcore's like, no, we don't. And I love how she looks at Annabelle, because Annabelle had a problem with that Hardcore just killed a normal civilian because that the normal civilian saw them. So that, again, there's character growth. So seeing the moment where, and I like how Adrian's like, okay, then I don't want to use tape on them because that hurts. So let's use something else on them. And then John's like, you care about whether tape is going to hurt on them, but you're okay with killing them? And he's like, yes, I am. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I love you, Adrian, bro. You're awesome. You're just so funny and weird. I love that character. It's just so funny. But then we get to the moment where Annabelle is getting ready to answer a call or a text from her girlfriend. But we get to the moment where she sees Chris there, and he's praying, saying, please, God, I should have left Eagly. I should have never left Eagly with my father. I should have left him with some ugly girl that wanted to get with me until I got out, and I wouldn't even have to have sex with her. She could just love me, all that. She could just love me, and I'm not gonna love her like that. But someone that just really would do anything for me. But maybe I'd have sex with her because I haven't been out of prison for all these years, and I wouldn't consider it a chore. And I was like, what the long dialogue he does in that moment, of him confessing of what he did wrong and what he should have done for Eagly, and said, I'm a really bad friend. You're the only friend I had besides my brother. And the one moment where he says, God, please, I'll do anything. Just please bring my friend back. And we see Eagly wake up and Eagly give Chris a hug again. And then Annabelle sees Eagly giving Chris a hug, because remember, Annabelle, and this is such a great callback to Annabelle, did not believe Chris when Chris said to Annabelle, my Eagly gave me a hug, after I got out of prison. And she's like, no way, you're bullshit. And he's like, if you don't believe in, miracles, then that's on you. And that's the sign she needed I need to do this. This is a sign of me needing to help, and this is where I'm supposed to be. And there's a family team here. You know what I mean? I love that moment, and I just love Annabelle's face in that moment. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing an eagle hug somebody. And she's like, I think this is she calls her girlfriend saying, I think this is why I need to do this. And that was really cool. And I love the moment when she goes in and they all go in and they're like, what are we gonna, John's like, how are we gonna do this without Myrn? And they all look at Hardcore, meaning that makes sense that Hardcore is now that heart that Myrn was, because Myrn was able to sort of like, I don't know, like take up that mantle of what Myrn was for everybody. That, I don't know, it's hard to put in words, but like it felt right that Hardcore was the one to take over. Because, I mean, think about it. She was the one that was really letting people in, really considering them a team, calling them, you know what I mean? Like, she was the one that was opening up, and it suits that she, and also Myrn was the first person that that trusted Hardcore with the secret of him being a butterfly, that actually told her the truth. So I felt like it made sense that she would take over as the leader, and that everybody would trust her, because everybody does trust her. I mean, Peacemaker trusts her. Vigilante trusts her. Anabayo now, trusts her, and, you know what I mean, and knew she was a good person, you know what I mean, like, and warmed up to her. And John, trusts her from them knowing each other back in Suicide Squad. So it worked out, and it was fitting that she would be the one to take over. But them getting ready to go take out that cow, which again, that cow, when we saw it, was disgusting at that farm, at the ranch. It was like a mix between like a worm and like a spider. It was disgusting. And I cannot wait to see that thing get blown up, because you know damn well it's going to get blown up. It's going to be disgusting. It's going to be gooey when it blows up. It's going to be some gross ass finale. Same as how it was gross when when Harley killed Starro and like went into Starro, and like it was like all bloody inside the water and it all gushed out, and it's going to be some gross ass shit that James Gunn's got planned for the finale, and I'm just excited to see what's going to happen. I'm excited to see how the season's going to end. I'm excited to see if we'll get a season 2. I'm also calling it that I think by the end of this, I could see Peacemaker and Hardcore getting together. Because, again, I feel like that's what they've been hinting towards. Because he was really upset at Anabayo for betraying Peacemaker, saying he thought you were his friend, and he trusted you. And you could really tell that really made her angry. And I'm thinking it's leading towards them dating or something. That's what I'm hoping, because I think they'd be a great couple. And I mean, hell, man, again, with Hardcore giving Chris her actual name, which if I'm correct, I forget what her actual name was. I'm gonna look that up. What Hardcore's name was. I think it was like I can't believe I'm blanking, but I'm gonna go look. I forget what it was. It was like Peacemaker. What was it? Amelia. Yeah, Amelia. Like, again, she's opening up, and I love that. I love that we're seeing the great character growth with all these characters. And I'm just excited to see this finale, guys. So yet again, I want to know down in the comments below what you guys thought about Peacemaker episode 7. And let me know what are you guys expecting to see in episode 8 finale of Peacemaker. Like, do you guys think he'll get a season 2? Do you guys think Peacemaker and Amelia will get together, or Chris and Amelia will get together? I think that's a possibility that they've sort of been leading up to. And what did you think about that fight between Peacemaker and his father? I thought that was a sick ass fight scene. And again, I want to know what you especially I really want to know what you guys think about Peacemaker's father making them fight when they were children to make profit. That was just I just can't get over how disgusting that was, that somebody could do that. And people do that in the real world, which is disgusting. People do that with dogs. People do that with their kids. I mean, that's a real thing. People do that, and it's very disturbing. But guys, I'm super excited to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. And again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. I'd love to have you guys here, a part of this family, a part of this channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And guys, we are on our way to hitting 500 subscribers. Literally, we're at 444 right now, and we're making strides. That's my dream, to get to 500. Hopefully before this month is over. I'd love to do it before Batman comes out, before March. And I know if anybody can do it, we can do it. So yet again, if you're new, come join this fam. But guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.